the worst cities in America to live in. Detroit, Flint and St. Louis top the list based on poverty, housing and crime. Detroit, Michigan holds the dubious title of being the country's worst city to live in, according to a new report ranking America's 50 most unappealing places to call home. Detroit has just the right combination of poverty, unemployment, crime and other factors to hold its first-place position, followed by Flint, Michigan and St. Louis, Missouri. The rest of the cities that made the list span from New England to the Pacific Ocean and everywhere in between, 24/7 Wall Street reported. The site compiled a list using U.S. Census data on the roughly 600 cities that had populations of more than 50,000 in 2016, the most recent year available. Each city was given a rating based on 9 categories: crime, demography, economy, education, environment, health, housing, infrastructure, and leisure. Other factors included property prices, poverty and unemployment rates, availability of public transportation and air quality. The statistics were given points and weighted, and final scores handed out to each of the cities to establish the final ranking. Below are the top 10 worst cities. The full list can be found at the bottom of the page. 1. Detroit, Michigan. Population, 672,829. Median home value, $43,500. Poverty rate, 35.7%. Population with at least a bachelor's degree, 14.9%. With its shrinking population and highly impoverished citizens, Detroit, Michigan was ranked worst city in the country to live in. At its peak in the 1950s, the city was home to 1.8 million residents, but now that has dwindled to fewer than 700,000. With 1 in every 3 Detroit residents living below the poverty line, low incomes and a nearly 11% unemployment rate factored highly in this city's placement on the list. The city is also famously dangerous, with more than 2,000 violent crimes for every 100,000 residents in 2016. 2. Flint, Michigan. Population, 97,379. Median home value, $28,200. Poverty rate, 44.5%. Population with at least a bachelor's degree, 10.5%. Flint is ranked second worst city to live in the U.S., based largely on the profound poverty of the area. Nearly 45% of the population lives below the poverty line, the highest rate of any city in the country. Flint also has an unemployment rate of roughly 10%. High crime rates make it a difficult place to run a business, and only 10.5% of city residents have a bachelor's degree, making for an undereducated job force. Rounding out the grim picture is the violent crime rate of 1,587 incidents per 100,000 residents in 2016. 3. St. Louis, Missouri. Population, 311,404. Median home value, $125,800. Poverty rate, 23.8%. Population with at least a bachelor's degree, 34.1%. St. Louis came in third nationwide for worst places to live, with violent crime being a major factor in the city's ranking. The city had 1,932 violent crimes for every 100,000 residents in 2016, the third highest of any city in the country, and 5 times the national crime rate. The city is also very poor, with nearly 24% of residents living below the poverty line. St. Louis is also seeing a major decline in its population, with a decrease of 11.2% over the past decade. 4. Las Vegas, Nevada. Population, 632,916. Median home value, $228,300. Poverty rate, 15.6%. Population with at least a bachelor's degree, 23.0%. With 2,136 violent crimes for every 100,000 residents, Las Vegas is the most dangerous city in the U.S., a major indicator that placed the city in fourth on the list of worst places to live in America. Another major factor for Sin City's ranking was property crimes, including larceny, burglary and motor vehicle theft. The city had 7,268 property crimes for every 100,000 residents in 2016. If Las Vegas had lower crime rates, other factors would likely elevate the city off of the list of worst places to live. 5. Memphis, Tennessee. Population, 652,752. Median home value, $96,800. Poverty rate, 26.9%. Population with at least a bachelor's degree, 25.6%. Quality of life in Memphis is dramatically impacted by high poverty levels and crime rates, all elements that placed this city fifth on the list of worst cities in America. Nearly 27% of residents are living below the poverty line, more than in any other city in the state. Memphis also has a crime problem, with 1,830 violent crimes in the city for every 100,000 residents in 2016, nearly 5 times the U.S. violent crime rate. 6. Cleveland, Ohio. Population, 385,810. Median home value, $66,800. Poverty rate, 35.0%. Population with at least a bachelor's degree, 16.3%. Cleveland's mix of poverty, crime and unemployment helped land the city in 6th place on the list of worst places to live in America. The city has a poverty rate of 35%, more than double the national rate. And the city's unemployment rate of nearly 7% contributes to that problem, with the second highest unemployment rate of any city in the state. Cleveland is also losing its population, with a decline of 2.4% in the last decade. Violent crime is another problem, with 1,633 reported in the city for every 100,000 residents in 2016. 7. Wilmington, Delaware. Population, 71,455. Median home value, $145,600. Poverty rate, 27.7%. Population with at least a bachelor's degree, 25.6%. Delaware's low income levels, coupled with a high cost of living, contributed to the city place 7th on the list of America's worst cities to live in. The average household earns just $36,435 a year, significantly below the median income of $57,617 nationwide. In addition, nearly 28% of the city lives below the poverty line, nearly double the national rate. Despite